Joining me now is the founding member of General Matter and former Department of Defense Innovation Unit Energy and Nuclear lead, Lee Robinson. Lee, great to see you again. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
Tell us about this and where you're expecting this agreement to go.
Well, I'm calling in from Paducah, Kentucky, where yesterday General Matter, along with representatives from the DOE, Congressman Comer, Senator Paul, Senator McConnell, and Governor Beshear announced the plans to build America's first privately owned, privately operated uranium enrichment facility. And here's why that's important. Nuclear fuel is the bottleneck for American ambitions. All of America's future growth relies on power, whether it's advancing AI or reshoring manufacturing. We need electricity at scale, and that is going to require nuclear power. But the fuel for nuclear power, the uranium, is enriched by foreign parties, mostly owned by foreign governments. U.S. companies control less than 1% of global enrichment, and reliance on foreign interests is going to end with this announcement.
Yeah, and then the enrichment is the key here, right? Because most people don't understand the enrichment, because we talk a lot about enrichment when it comes to Iran and what they're planning in terms of a nuclear bomb. Walk us through the level of enrichment you're talking about.
This is enrichment for commercial power. So enrichment for the 94 reactors that provide 20% of the grid right now to American homes all throughout just about every state in America. So what we're going to produce is low enriched uranium, which goes directly into those 94 reactors.
Well, look, the Trump administration is working to make America less reliant on foreign nuclear power and uranium, and the Department of Energy launched this program to build more advanced fuel lines to help strengthen domestic supply chains. So how does this program advance America's nuclear capabilities, and when do you expect this to be up and running?
By the end of the decade, and this is thanks in large part to this administration. So the lease that we just signed with the Department of Energy, that would not happen without the executive orders that was signed by President Trump. That would not happen without the leadership from Secretary Wright and many other leaders across the DOE. And we're going to do this starting build as soon as possible and with commercial scale to push out those Russian imports by the end of the decade.
Transportation Secretary and acting NASA Chief Sean Duffy directing the agency to fast-track plans for a nuclear reactor on the moon. With plans to launch by 2030, this move partially aimed at beating China and Russia in the technology race. Here's the Transportation Secretary this week. Watch.
We are in the race. We're in a race to the moon, in a race with China to the moon. And to have a base on the moon, we need energy. And some of the key locations on the moon, we're going to get solar power. But this fission technology is critically important. We have to marshal all of our resources, all of our focus on going to the moon, which is what we're going to do. And again, there's a lot of things that NASA does, and a lot of people love a lot of the things that NASA does. But this is about space exploration, and this is about this next phase.
Yeah, and Lee, this is also a national security issue, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is. And I'll say the Secretary is absolutely right. Nuclear power is one of the best sources of baseload fuel. But whether it's on the moon or right here at home, it needs enriched fuel. And when we build it in space, we certainly don't want to fuel it with Russian or Chinese fuel. So right now, what we're concerned about is making sure that the 94 reactors all around the country, 20% of the nation's grid, they get those without having to go. They get the enriched uranium without having to go to imports from potentially foreign adversaries.
All right, we will leave it there. Lee, great to see you. Thanks so much. We'll be watching your work and your company, of course. Meanwhile, we